So this week, I learned that Mark Zuckerberg has a sister and that she thinks she's Razzle Khan. I apologize ahead of time for what I'm about to show you. Here is Randy Zuckerberg singing about NFTs.
We're all gonna make it. Yeah, we're all gonna make it. We're all gonna make it, everyone. It's just the start, so GM, carpe your crypto DM, DYOR, and pick a coin.
Okay, that's enough. I'll tell you one person who's not going to make it. Me. I have to keep listening to that. The fuck? Right now, social media is filled with images showing the carnage of war, yet somehow that video is the worst thing I saw all week. Sick people, man. Moving on now. Thanks to Kim on Twitter, who nominated Kanye West for this week's Rich Dick. Gotta say, though, I've mostly been tuned out of this saga, but it does seem like it's getting pretty bad. A billionaire getting really messy in public. Good nomination, but Kanye had stiff competition this week. You ready for it? This week's Rich Dick is Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred. Well, regular viewers of the show should have seen this one coming. We've been talking about the labor dispute at the heart of baseball all week, and Manfred was also a very popular nomination on social media. He's a Cornell-trained union buster. He's devoted nearly his entire professional life to destroying worker power, which is why he's the perfect commissioner of baseball right now for the owners, who are less interested in getting the season started and far, far more interested in just breaking the players' union. Here was Manfred this week announcing that he was canceling games because owners and players couldn't come to terms on a new labor agreement.
The calendar dictates that we're not going to be able to play the first two series of the regular season, and those games are officially canceled.
Owners will be fine with early games canceled, but players won't be because they won't get paid, nor will tens of thousands of stadium workers who depend on the baseball season to pay their own bills. And that's Manfred's strategy. Again, this isn't his first rodeo. He made his debut in MLB advising owners on how to break the 94-95 players' strike. There are basic facts at the heart of this labor dispute, and Manfred and the owners know it. The league's current compensation system drastically underpays younger players who are at the peak of their careers. And this has a downstream negative effect on veteran players who can't find contracts reflecting their worth based on years of service to the league because owners know they can get the same, if not more, production from a younger player who, as I said, is structurally underpaid. Team owners have increasingly exploited this discrepancy in baseball, and the result is that players' wages have been declining in recent years. Meanwhile, baseball has seen its revenue go up. Every owner has seen their own club appreciate in value since it was purchased. Manfred wants you to think that the opposite is true, that it's the owners who are struggling, not the players.
And I think the proposal that we made is right in line with the type of increases we've seen in the past. I think you also need to remember that the last 5 years been very difficult years from a revenue perspective for the industry given the pandemic.
You know, most teams don't have to reveal their books, so the owners can just claim whatever they want. But the Atlanta Braves do have to reveal their financials. That's because they're owned by a publicly owned corporation, Liberty Media. And guess what we learned from that disclosure? That Manfred is full of shit. The Braves earned a profit last season of, a profit, by the way, not revenue, but a profit of $104 million. Are we to believe that the Braves are the only profitable team in baseball? I don't think so. Again, there are basic facts at play here. There's a large pot of money that the owners possess, and it keeps getting bigger. But the share going to workers is getting smaller. Even this year, the owners want to expand the postseason, which means more games, which means more ticket sales and TV deals, which means more profit that owners don't want to share with the players. And players aren't even that militant about getting what should rightfully be theirs. I mean, there is no baseball without the players, but baseball will be just fine without the owners. It would be better, in fact. The union just wants younger players to be compensated better so that older players have more value, and also not put restrictions on teams from paying veterans what they're worth. They also want revenue sharing between teams to be reduced because the current arrangement incentivizes owners to tank because they can remain profitable strictly by keeping their payrolls low and losing every game. But at no point during these negotiations has Manfred nor the owners moved to meet the players even close to halfway. As Defector notes, quote, "The players made a large concession in the changes they're seeking on arbitration. The owners did not counter at all and refused to countenance any changes to the team-friendly status quo. The players dropped the size of a reduction they're seeking in revenue sharing. The owners refused to consider any reduction whatsoever." The union proposed a bonus pool of money to compensate top-performing players before they're eligible to negotiate for higher wages, what's known as arbitration. The union wanted that fund to be $100 million. They came down to $85 million, but the owners only offered $25 million, which they later bumped up to $30 million. Just completely unserious, a massive gap that again proves Rob Manfred doesn't want to play baseball. He wants to break the union. And since the players' union is holding firm, Manfred is resorting to more and more drastic actions to ensure the owners win, such as now canceling games. Canceling games after locking out the players for more than 90 days, trying to starve them out. There isn't much else to say. The guy's ruining baseball and serving capital to crush a labor union. We got an all-timer here, folks. Rob Manfred is this week's Rich Dick. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our new videos. Also, if you want to see Means Morning News in its complete form, not just the clips we post here, head on over to Means TV and get access to all our new episodes and our entire backlog, plus tons of other great movies and original TV shows.